Hello and welcome to the FNO show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Darshan Mehta. Good morning, Agam.
Good morning, Darshan. I'm Agam Akhil. The top headlines. Indian markets rebound after 2 days of fall. Nifty inches towards 10,650. India VIX declines. And rupee strengthens for the 7th straight day, appreciates about 0.5% in opening trade. RBI to pump in 8,000 crore rupees in the bond markets today. Open interest surges in Just Style as traders take fresh positions in its stock futures. And more bad news for the aviation space. Passenger growth dropped to a 15-month low in October. Utilization was the lowest in 19 months. And Maharashtra farmers march from Thane to Mumbai to stage a protest at the Vidhan Bhavan, demanding a loan waiver and minimum support prices.
Okay, let's see what the market is doing at this point of time. The Nifty is up almost, it's cooled off from the highs of the day. It's down up almost 15-20 points. The last time I checked, it was up almost 50 points at one point of time. So that's cool off from the highs of the day. Let's see what the Nifty Bank is doing in today's trade, at what level it is, and it's also trading rather flat in trade. Where are positions being built? It's a day where there is a little bit of consolidation that's happening as far as the open interest build-up is concerned. From 10,600 to higher levels, it's the call writers that are active. This is what's happened in trade today. Put writers are active from 10,400 to 10,600, and call writers are active at 10,700. So it's a broad range, it's a narrow range that the market is looking at between the 10,600 and 10,700 at this point of time. From the 10,600 right up to high levels, it's the call writers that are active, and put writers are active from 10,600 to levels that are below that. A couple of things I want to point out. Watch out, the Nifty IT index has rebound from the lows of yesterday's trading session. It's up almost 1.5%, and the Nifty PSU Bank, which did very well in trade yesterday, is finding no flavor today. It's down almost 0.6%. But Agam, on stock specific side, what are you seeing?
Sure, Darshan. So let's start by taking a look at those stocks which are seeing a surge in open interest, and Just Style is right at the top, considering the 14% increase in OI. It's followed by NIT Technologies towards the long side. Apollo Hospitals is seeing some weakness, and that's down around 1%. 8% added there. United Breweries and Mindtree among others. Coming down to those which are seeing unwinding, actually there isn't too much to speak for, except for DLF, which is seeing a decline of nearly 1% in both underlying as well as its open interest. Once again, we're going to watch out for some of these stocks, but what specific stocks are you tracking today, Darshan?
Yeah, so three stocks that I want to speak about. The first one is Bajaj Finance. NBFCs of late haven't done well, but of all that, Bajaj Finance is showing relative strength. It's seeing decent open interest build up, and slowly and steadily it's moving close to the 2,500 mark in trade. So I'll clearly watch out for Bajaj Finance. The other one is Divi's Lab, by far the best performing pharma stock. It's trading near record highs again, has moved up on decent open interest build-ups. That should do well. And Siemens is the last one. Post the numbers, it has seen a downtick, and the MSCI selling should probably continue for the next few days. Probably will be under pressure. But Agam, what are you watching?
Okay, so Just Style is right at the top of my list, considering that surge in open interest. It's very interestingly poised when it comes to technicals, considering there has been a rise from the levels of around 430 odd to now at 510 over the past few weeks. It's in and out of its crucial simple moving averages. The next one I want to address is Mindtree. Now, Mindtree, of course, along with the rest of the IT pack, has been weak over the last few weeks, but today it is advancing by around 2.5%, and now 6% added in open interest. And finally, let's bring up United Breweries, because that's the other one where we are seeing an increase of nearly 8% in OI towards longs, even though the underlying is advancing by less than 1%. Currently at around 1,330 odd levels, not too much to speak for, but we are certainly seeing a lot of traction building in. So those are the three stocks that I'm tracking today, Darshan.
Okay, so we'll watch out for all these counters in trade today. But before we get in a guest on the show, here's a reminder: if you have any queries regarding futures and option market, you can call us on 022 45404141 or write to us on Twitter, Facebook with the AskBQ hashtag. So let's welcome our FNO experts for the day. Gaurav Bisa of LKP Securities and Kunal Shah of India Bulls join us on the show. Thank you to both of our guests for joining me. Gaurav, I'll start with you. Good morning. The Nifty is rather subdued in today's trade, has come off the day's high. But overall, what's the trend that you're spotting, and what's the strategy as far as the index is concerned that you're recommending?
Good morning. If you look at the Nifty index, it's been trading in a range. It has an immediate support at levels of 10,540, 10,560. And what we are advising our clients to buy on dips towards 10,580, play with 40 rupees stop loss. On the upside, 10,680 is looking a little bit difficult to cross. It would be immediate hurdle. This is the strategy that we are deploying for clients in organization. As far as Bank Nifty is concerned, we had recommended Bank Nifty in the morning at levels of 26,230 to 40. And any dip towards those levels can be used to build fresh long positions. If you look at the Bank Nifty, and if you look at hourly candles, it has been finding strong resistance at levels of 26,320 to 26,330. This particular zone. Fresh breakouts only above this level. But if somebody wants to play via options, I think buying 26,300 call option would make sense. Around 40 rupees is quoting at 50 to 50 rupees. So if it sees a small dip, one can buy, keep a stop loss of 20 rupees on the upside. 80 rupees to 100 rupees can be seen today.
So Gaurav is buying the 26,300 call on the Bank Nifty. Gaurav, good morning. Kunal, good morning to you as well. How are you seeing trade on the indices, and how would you play options or futures for that matter here?
See, overall, firstly, talking on the Nifty index, I think we have seen some good bounce into the index from the levels of 10,100. I think the overall structure still remains very bullish for Nifty. I think any dip into the index has to be bought, and we will see levels of even 11,000 going forward into the index. That's the whole view from our side. I think Nifty needs to close about 10,750 on a closing basis, which will give a confirmation for a levels above 11,000. But at the current levels, I think one should keep definitely a buy on dips approach. 10,550 to 10,500 is a very crucial support zone. We have seen put writing that has been happening at 10,500 strike. So I think put writers are very aggressive at those levels. On the upside, yes, the Nifty faces resistance at 10,800, 10,750 zone. But I think overall the structure still remains very bullish for the index. I think any dip into the index needs to be bought. 10,550, 10,600 is a crucial support zone on the downside. So any dip has to be utilized for the long side for targets of 10,700 to 10,750 on an immediate basis. But anyone who is a long-term trader, I think 11,000 is eventually what we aim for the markets in the near term, and that's what we see Nifty going forward. Similarly, the view stands for Bank Nifty. I think Bank Nifty is much stronger compared to Nifty even at the current levels. Probably it's going in a phase of consolidation. Even in yesterday's fall, we saw 25,900 put writers were still active in this market, and they were adding open interest in yesterday's trading session. So I think overall the structure for Bank Nifty also looks very strong, but it is probably in a consolidation phase. So we will see Bank Nifty trading in the range of 25,900 to 26,400 in the near term. Probably that would be a consolidation range, and specifically today being an expiry, I think we are likely to expire above the levels of 26,000, that is for sure. And on the upside, yes, 26,500 call writers are very active. So I think this could be the range 26,000 to 26,500 where we can expect Bank Nifty to expire in today's trade. Keep a buy on dip approach. Any dip into the index, you can buy 26,200, 26,300 call options. I think that is again an ideal strategy even at the current levels. Overall, we expect range bound trade happening into the index specifically for today's trade. Once the index closed decisively about 26,350 on a closing basis, we will see some rallies towards the levels of 26,600 to 26,700. So I think overall for both the index, the view still remains bullish. Any dips into the index has to be bought. And if talking about specific today's trade, I think Bank Nifty is likely to be in a consolidation range. You will see 26,100 to 26,400 could be the range where Bank Nifty could expire.
Okay, now let's get it stock specific, and Kunal, I'll start with you. Which are the stocks that you want to recommend for today?
See, I think overall, as I've mentioned, Bank Nifty looks very positive at the near term. Axis Bank yesterday gave a very good breakout. Even on the monthly chart, Axis Bank looks very good at the current levels. We will see some momentum building for going forward into the stock towards the levels of 638, 650. So I think Axis Bank would be my top bet from the private space, where one can see some decent upside in the near term. So one can definitely buy at the current levels with a stop loss of 605 for targets of 638 to 650 on the upside. My second pick would be from the finance space. I think Bajaj Finance has given a very fresh breakout yesterday. It was our BTST call yesterday, and I think the momentum is likely to continue going forward. So I think at the current levels, definitely Bajaj Finserv can be bought at the current levels with a stop loss of 5750 for targets of 6,000 to 6,100 in the near term. So overall, these two stocks would be my picks in the near term, where we can see decent upside coming into the stock.
Okay, well, we've been talking about Tata Elxsi about the last 3 or 4 days on the trot because of the kind of, correction we've seen. But today it's making an up move, and it's up around 2% nearly, and it's reclaimed 990 on its way back to around, I would say, 1,000 rupees per share. And Gaurav has a call on this one. Gaurav, why don't you take us through your view on Tata Elxsi as well as your long on Federal Bank, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I have a buy recommendation both. Tata Elxsi, for one, it has been finding strong supports at level of 950, and with all the carnage that we saw in the IT index so far, it has been still holding those grounds. And if you look at the OI data, we have not seen significant shorts getting built in the last trading sessions. Today, rather, we have seen a small 1-2% OI addition happening today. A lot of IT names have reversed from the crucial support levels. There's a chance that it can now move towards the level of 1,050, 1,080 next 3 or 4 trading sessions. It's a high beta name, so 100 rupee move for this name is not very difficult. One can keep a stop loss of 965 on the upside. 1,050 is what I expect in the name. Federal Bank is looking interesting for the reason that one, it has even a breakout from following general pattern. And if you look at the OI addition, today also we have seen good amount of OI addition happening. Yesterday we saw about 9% OI addition happening. So last 2-3 days have been quite good for the name, and we have seen good amount of OI addition happening. If it manages to hold on to level of 83, it can test levels of 92 rupees. For trading, one can keep a stop loss of 81.5, play for 86.
Okay, so those are the views that are coming in. Counters like Federal Bank, Tata Elxsi, Axis Bank and Bajaj Finserv are the stocks that are being recommended by our experts today. But let's get in all the viewer queries now. The first query comes in from Twitter username move, and he wants to know, should he short Titan at the current market price? Gaurav, is Titan a short at this price?
I would not advise to short Titan. A couple of reasons. Yesterday also we saw when the market was looking weak, it added some amount of OI addition, and we saw the stock bouncing from levels of 912, 913 to levels of 925. For the time being, it is not a short candidate. If it sustains the current levels, it can move towards the level of 940, 942. So shorting this name, a strong name, mid-cap name in this market, would not be a wise step.
Okay, well, that's the view on Titan. But talking about, maybe 1 or 2 other stocks that I want to address. Let's pull up United Breweries, because that's the one which was in focus, when it comes to your change in open interest. And again, United Breweries hasn't been doing too much when it comes to your up move, but it has seen an increase in open interest. So, Kunal, if I can take this one up with you, how are you seeing trade on United Breweries?
See, I think for the near term, we have seen some decent bounce that has happened in United Breweries. I think the bounce is likely to continue in the near term. On the immediate basis, 1345 is likely to be a crucial resistance for the stock in the near term. I think any close above 1345 should be an again confirmation for the continuation of the uptrend towards the levels of 1400 to even 1500 levels. So I think at the current levels, even the base formation is strong. One can definitely look to go long even at the current levels. 1280 is now a crucial support for the stock on the downside. So I think either at the current levels or any dip into the stock, one should definitely look to be long into the stock. And once the stock closes decisively above 1345, we'll see some quick rallies towards the levels of 1400 to 1500.
Okay, let's get in the next query. Manam Varangal has bought HPCL at 244. He wants an intraday view for the same. Kunal, what should he do on HPCL?
See, I think overall the stock looks very weak. It has seen some decent resistance at the levels of 260, 255 zone. I think now that would act as a very crucial hurdle for the stock. On the downside, the stock has support at 235 to 230 levels. So I think probably one should definitely be on the short side, even if it wants to be on an intraday basis. The stock has breached yesterday's low decisively, and we are seeing further downside that could be coming into the stock. So I think the stock can slide down to 236, 235 zone for an intraday purpose. If he wants to take a trade, he should definitely be on the short side with a stop loss of 244 on the upside.
Okay, Rishabh Shah on Twitter wants a view on the Nifty itself. It said, what will come first, 11,000 or 10,500? That's the view that's coming in on Twitter. Gaurav, what will come first, 11,000 or 10,500?
Well, we have already visited 10,550 yesterday, and since it's almost only 100 points away, 10,500, the levels are quite far away. One is 400 points away, another is 100 points away. So logically, 10,550, 10,520 can be revisited again. So there's a possibility that we may see a dip towards the level of 10,540, 520, and then we can expect levels of 11,000. And as my fellow analyst just mentioned, that 10,750, 800 is a very strong resistance area. As long as we are not closing above these levels, further up move towards 11,000, 11,100 would be very difficult. So for time being, it is going to be in a range bound mode. On the lower side, 10,520. On the upside, 10,750.
Okay, I want to bring up Infosys because our next query is on that one. We have on Facebook Ram Hegde. He says that he's bought the Infosys December futures. This is the December series at 680. Would require a target and possible, advice on whether he should hold or book losses here. Let's pull up the December futures for Infosys. If not that one, at least the November future. Okay, so it is trading at 629, the December futures. It's up 1.2% today, but this is after a substantial, correction, should I say, not just in Infosys, but in the entire IT pack on account of the strengthening rupee against the US dollar. Now today it has seen an increase of around 2.3% in open interest, and there you have it. So it's not too, it really isn't moving too much. On a fundamental basis, I'd just like to add here that it's largely in line. Infosys is one of the few stocks which is largely in line when it comes to price to earnings ratio, currently in line with its 2-year price to earnings ratio average as well as 5-year average. So fundamentally it is in line, but there is some amount of strength returning today. Kunal, let me come to you on Infosys. So what would you advise Ram to do with his position? He's entered Infosys at 680.
See, overall, if I look at the chart structure for Infy specifically on the weekly basis, I think the stock has broken a support of 630, which was a strong support for the stock in the near term. I think in the near term, if you talk about Infosys, it looks weak. We might see some further downside that could be coming into the stock towards the levels of 600. I think 600 is now likely to act as a support for the index in the near term. If there is some bottom formation out there at those levels, some support where we can see some buying happening, then we can see some kind of movement on the upside. But at the current levels, I would say definitely stay away from the longs, specifically at the current levels. 600 could be the immediate targets where Infy could reach, and if there is some kind of buying that is happening at that crucial support zone, then we might see some bounce coming into the stock. But at the current levels, for me, it's definitely an avoid, neither a short, neither a long at the current levels. Just wait and watch. If some positive bullishness develops around the zone of 600, we can definitely look to go long.
Suggesting he should book losses right now or wait for a little bit of an uptick before he can book losses?
I think depending upon its view, if it's a long-term view, I think Infosys can see some good bounce around the support zone of 600. So I think definitely he should wait into his longs with a stop loss of 600 on the downside. If 600 is breached on a closing basis, he should definitely exit his position.
Okay, the next query is from Kishore on YouTube. He's bought Jain Irrigation shares futures at 74 rupees. Let's pull up what the price is currently. He bought it at 74. It's down 4 rupees on the counter. Gaurav, should he hold or exit Jain Irrigation? And if he has to hold on, what's the stop loss?
Generation has been stuck in the range. It has an immediate hurdle at level of 75 and it has support of 68 half 69. So if he wants to hold, one can keep a stop loss of 69 rupees, 69 rupees 50 paisa and hold on. We can expect a bounce towards the level of 72 half 73 where he can exit. Don't expect that your trade would result in a profit because it's stuck in the range. But you can hold on, keep a stop loss of 1.5 from the current price.
Okay, Ravi Shankar wants a view on Jubilant Foodworks for the November series, which means, well, less than about 5 days to go. Let's pull up the Jubilant Foodworks futures and see what it's doing. Not too much, actually. It's at around 1216, 17 odd levels. Very little change in open interest too. Gaurav, I'm going to come back to you on this one. How are you seeing trade on Jubilant Foodworks? What would you advise Ravi Shankar to do?
Jubilant Foodworks has already seen a strong momentum in last few trading sessions, and it is now trading near the immediate hurdle of 1240, 1245. I would not recommend buying Jubilant Foodworks at this point in time because the risk score is not favorable. But as any dip towards the level of 1180, 1185 can be used as a buying opportunity. Keep a stop loss of 1165 on the upside, 1225, 1240 can be seen. And the current prices, avoid.
Okay, let's get in the next queries. It's on sale. Vikas Jha bought sale 60 put at 75 paise. What's the view? Let's pull up sale and see what sale. It's trading at 60. We want the 60 put. Gaurav, any view on sale 60 put? It's at 0.60. What should he do?
Metals are under pressure, so there's a possibility the stock may again slip towards the level of 60 half or so. You can get a better exit point, but there's a good supported levels of 60. Also, the time value is going to be against you in a very big way because we have a truncated week, and next week we have expiry. So time value erosion will be quite rampant from here on. He can hold on, but again, as I mentioned, don't expect to make good profit from the trade. If you get a better exit levels, I would recommend that if you see a dip in sale towards the level of 60 half, exit the position.
Okay, Neeta Saxena says she has 500 shares of Apollo Tyres at 266. Should I hold, exit or average? Neeta, we usually don't take cash queries on this show, but because Apollo Tyres belongs to the futures and options space, I'm going to take this one up with Kunal. Now, Apollo Tyres is currently at around 223. Neeta has entered into this stock at 266. Kunal, what would your view be? What would you advise Neeta to do with her position?
See, I think at the current levels, specifically from the tire stocks, I think Apollo even looks very attractive at the current levels because the risk reward is favorable at the current zone. The stock has seen some beating down in the recent times, and now it is trying to form a base around the zone of 190, 185. So I think she should definitely hold with the current position. The stock can see some good momentum on the upside towards the levels of 250, 260 on an immediate basis. Overall, the long-term structure still looks very bullish for the stock. So if the view is for a long-term horizon, I think definitely one should wait for the upside that would be triggering into the stock once the stock crosses or closes below the levels of above the levels of 230, 231. I think once the stock decisively closes about 231, the bad part would be over and we will see some quick rallies towards the levels of 250, 260. At the current juncture, hold the stock. We will see some quick momentum on the upside.
Okay, let's get in the last few queries of the show. There's a viewer who wants a view on Dewan Housing Finance. Kunal, you can take it up. What's your view on Dewan Housing Finance going ahead?
See, I think overall the view still remains bullish for Divan. We have seen the stock being beaten down very badly in the recent past, but I think there is some kind of covering that would be coming into the stock in the near term. So I think at the current levels, one should definitely be on the long side. The risk reward is still favorable on the long side. I think even if you are holding the stock, you can hold the stock with a stop loss of 220. That is an immediate support for the stock. And if the stock crosses 246, 247, I think the stock will see some quick momentum on the upside towards the levels of 300, even 320 zone. So I think overall the setup still looks bullish. 220 is likely to be a very crucial support for the stock. So even if you are trading in such a volatile stock, I think stop losses is something that needs to be maintained at the current levels. So I think one can definitely look to go long with a stop loss of 220 for immediate targets of 250 to 260 on the upside.
Okay, final query perhaps, and this one is on the Bank Nifty. Now, we already know that Gaurav is positive on the Bank Nifty because he's recommended to buy a call. But Dakshay Desai says that he has 20 lots of the Bank Nifty 26,000 put. And it averages at around 100 rupees per contract, if I'm not mistaken. His question is, what should I do? Can we pull up that specific Bank Nifty put? This Bank Nifty put is, of course, for this upcoming expiry. It's currently at around 95. So it's about 5 points lower than his average for these 20 lots. Gaurav, what's your view here? Would you advise him to book losses considering you are constructive on the Bank Nifty right now? Or do you think he can hold on and will cut at cost?
So there are two things. One, even if Bank Nifty witnesses a dip of 100 points, he is still not going to make too much of money because it would still be 200 points away. 26,320 on the other hand is acting as a strong deterrent. So for him, my advice would be keep a stop loss of 26,320, 330 on the spot side. If that is crossed, exit your positions at whatever price you get. Else you can see a dip and you can get a better exit price. And as I mentioned earlier, there are multiple supports: 26,200 immediate support, 26,120 another support, 26,030 is our support. So it's not going to be easy for you to make money on the downside. I would recommend to keep a stop loss of 26,320, 330 for time being.
Well, that's the advice coming in those specific puts, the 26,000 puts. But with that, I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Kunal as well as Gaurav, for taking us through their views and solving some of our viewer queries. And with that, it's a wrap in this edition of the FN Show. But for more news and updates, stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.